sorry I didn't wish that in the first video of the year. Well, it was the 1st of January when it uploaded for me. Probably still was New Year's Eve for you guys. So anyway, I hope 2019 brings you lots of happiness and good health and lots of playing. So I'm working in my large creative journal, Dylusions journal today, and I've just applied a coat of gesso and just applying, well, stamping some texture onto the page. This is a Carabelle Studio circles and dot stamp, and I'm stamping it with some olive Ranger archival ink. And now I'm grabbing some shades of green, some phthalo green, oxide chromium, bright aqua, pale olive and mint, and I'm adding that to the page with a brush, mixed sort of, sometimes 2 colours on the brush and sometimes 3, just to give it sort of a gradient look so it's not solid. So I think today's page was based on the colour green, as well as a couple of new stamp sets that I'd recently bought from Mimi Bondi over on mixedmediastore.com.au. I don't know about you guys, but there's something about a big journal that is a bit scarier than the smaller ones to start a page. But anyway, I did it. I have to force myself, I must say. Anyway, adding some more texture with a Dylusion stencil called Diamonds Small, and I'm using phthalo green acrylic paint with a sponge, just a makeup sponge wedge. So sort of darkening the outside, because that's pretty much the only border I give it, I think. It's been a while since I did the page. Love this shade of green. And I don't know, I tend to go overboard when I do my stenciling. I think in a lot of times less is more. So now I'm just using up the remainder of the paint that's on the sponge. So this is one of the stamp sets from MediaStore. It's another Carabelle Studio. Edges in my journal. And it's just a script sort of stamp. And this is the gorgeous grunge stamp set by Stampin' Up. And I saw it on a lot of cards, I think, this stamp set on Pinterest, and I just had to buy it. So I found it, I think it was on eBay. I searched and searched for it. So drawing some pencils with an Inktense pencil. I just grabbed one, and I'm using my Spellbinders circle dies to add the different shapes or different sizes of circles. Now I start off trying to shade this yellow acrylic paint around the circle, but I decided that it was too transparent, so I had to block the circles out with some gesso first. I'm trying to get some shading skills with the angle brushes and the acrylics. It's not coming easy to me, that's for sure. So pretty much all I'm doing here is shading the circles, or giving all the circles a coat of the white gesso. I find the angle brush is so good for the circle shapes. Now I go back with the yellow. And here I'm trying to blend it again, and it just ain't working. So I change my strategy, and you'll see there that I've overworked it and probably applied the yellow paint over a not quite dry surface of gesso. So I'm now just covering all the circles with the yellow. And here I go trying to cover this and get it a more opaque application, but it's just not working anymore. Might have been too much water there, can't remember. So now I add some lighter colours, so mixing the yellow with the white. Well, here I go trying to shade again, and it just doesn't work. My patience doesn't last very long. So now I just add circles, smaller circles to the larger circles. That circle up there gave me grief. And at this stage, I still don't know what I'm going to do with the page. I had an idea at first, but it flew out the window real quick. So as I'm adding these white circles, I'm trying my hardest to think where I'm going to go with this page next. And it wasn't easy. So here I think I'm looking for a smaller angle brush for the smaller circles. And now, oh, that's right. I just want a circle stamp to stamp onto that white. And now using a stylus to add a tiny white circle. And now all I do, I think, from memory, is add detail to the circles. So I end up, once I add all the white to this one, I start using, I think it may have been, let me have a look. Yeah, the PITT Artist black superfine pen, and then I think I went to a POSCA pen, it might have been. Oh, here goes my microphone. It might be going out of charge. Sorry about that. So I'm going to put on some music while I show what I'm doing with the doodling. I'll be back. Okay, so after all that, I'm now using the Whimsy Hearts stamp set and stamping some quote leaves. Um, and I'm leaving the actual stamps near where I've stamped them because they're very similar sized and they have different designs on them. So I didn't want to get too confused. Now, I'm not worried too much about how they're stamping at this stage because I paint over the shape of the stamp with some gesso and then I overstamp it again later. So there's a lot of doodling in this page. A lot of gesso. And just a whole lot of doodling. So if you're not a doodler, don't even go there and watch this video. So I stamped them again using Memento grey flannel ink because I know that I'm going to go over the top of it with a black pen just to make them stand out a bit more. Now I had all sorts of problems with my pens. The fine point Sharpies must be running out because they're not working too well. I think the PITT Artist pen or pens were running out or they just didn't want to work on it. So I ended up using a Micron graphic pen. You can always count on them. So yes, I go over every single leaf that I've applied. I don't show you all of them. You're welcome. But yeah, so I've done it all, and now I'm going to add a bit more detail just to those circles. Back with the POSCA pen by the look of it. Just giving the circles some definition. Yeah, what was I going to do with that one was my thought process at that stage. So I just go and I add some little circles to the edge of it. As if I haven't done enough doodling. And then just add some white doodles to the flower stems. Yes, the circles are now flowers. The black and the white just gives it a really good contrast. Yep, I'm going to dab into each of those circles with a white Sharpie pen. Oh, finally done with the doodling. So now I'm up to the title. So I just used a charcoal white pencil just to outline the title of the page. Then I go back in and go over it, make it thicker with I think a black POSCA pen, and then just add some white strokes to the lettering just to sort of tie in with the rest of the page. So the quote says, "Friends are flowers in the garden of life. I'm using a Sharpie extra fine point pen for the white detail on the letters. And it's not finished yet. I've yet to do the board, well, the outside edge, and I have got one border strip with one of the other stamps that I bought. So this is it, the edges in my journal. I used one of the set of 3 in the background of my pages earlier at the beginning, but this is another one that I'm using for just at the side here. Just a scallop typed edge. It has some text on it, and I'm using my stamp positioning tool to get it fairly even across the edge of that side of the page. And again, I go in and I colour in around those scalloped edges with the black POSCA pen. And if that's not enough, I dot in all those little areas, those circles there, with a white POSCA pen. Sorry, Sharpie pen. And then just go around the whole perimeter of the double page there with a Prussian blue water-soluble wax pastel. That's it. Okay, no more doodling for a while. Next page is in my whimsy journal. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll be back next week with another page. Bye.